What's going on, guys? Day 4. Woke up a few minutes ago. Just did some quick things. But, the hardest thing I think, and something that I just experienced, and, I wanted to make this video soon after having done it, is sleeping. Sleeping, which I guess you could kind of foresee a bit, but it is more uncomfortable than I thought. Mainly because of the, these things that I now have in the back of my head. I actually haven't seen them very much, so other people have seen those stitches more than me. So the problem is, I lay on the back of my head, and that's exactly where the incision is. So there's like pressure placed on it ever so lightly, even though I'm using a pillow and stuff, but still it irritates it at night. The other option would be sleeping on the side, which I basically unconsciously do in my sleep. Sometimes I move to the side, but I'm afraid because when I move to the side, then it endangers, these newly implanted brow hairs. Also, if I get too much on the side, then I could start to hit the edge of, these implanted hairs on top. So I've gotten pretty close. I'm worried about it. So I try to actually do this weird thing where I sleep on my ear, and then basically everything in front of my ear is just like, space or air. Just put all the weight somewhere here towards the back, but that's not ideal either. And I wanted to show you guys. So I've slept 3 times already. The first night was expectedly very uncomfortable. The second night, I'll show you guys the setup that I have. I okay, I don't know what's going on. It's unfortunate I can't turn the camera. But so this, I slept on a singlet the second night because the fiber is very breathable. Also, it's very frictionless, so it glides quite easily. So I'll show you guys what it looked like after the second night. And I slept on this singlet also for another reason, because it's white, and I wanted to see all of what may have come out during the night. I'll make sure you guys can see this. Okay, so that's the singlet. I took this yesterday to the second post-op appointment. Don't be too grossed out. It's actually not that bad. And they said it's nothing out of the ordinary. And you can see it's not all red, actually. Like, some of it's more like yellowish. And if it was actually all blood, it'd be much dark redder. So it's a mixture of something else and blood, which is a good thing. It's not actually as much blood as it looks like. Anyways, I'm gonna have to wash that singlet. It's kind of stained. But not the biggest concern. Okay, so this past night, which was my third night sleeping, then I had the headband on, and I should mention, during the second night I also had the headband on, but I'm not sure of the positioning, so maybe it wasn't directly on top of the stitching, and then more liquid or whatever was able to come out, more crust. So that's why maybe the discharge for the second night may have been greater. But for the third night, I definitely had the headband on well positioned, and it covered the stitching in the back, because it's not like a straight line. It goes right here on the side and then it dips down. So I made sure to put the headband covering the portion of the stitching where it dips down in the back. And for this, okay, so this is last night, the third night, and you can see it's much more mild. So it's just a headband, nothing. I slept also on another singlet, but here you can see there's just like one streak. I'll put it in the lighting, maybe that would help. But there's just one streak of this crust and discharge. Yeah, a little gross, but like I said, I had a huge incision on the back of my head, so not the worst thing. One other thing that I did yesterday that I put on my to-do list was to buy a neck pillow, and I think that helped, because the first couple of nights, what I was doing was basically, I had like this big blue towel. It's a normal size, and then I put this white towel, because that's to kind of help me, like, as a stain marker, just to see how much blood and stuff, just to keep track. I don't care if I ruin the towel. I'd rather know exactly how much of a problem the stitching is having. And then I would put like the singlet on it. That wasn't too comfortable, so what I ended up doing oftentimes was I would scrunch it up, basically once I'm already laying on it, to kind of the shape of my head, and that would make it a little more comfortable. So you could almost think about it like I was trying to make a neck pillow out of these towels and the singlet. And what I noticed laying on the on the left side of my head is slightly more painful. So what I would do is I would lean back a little bit, and then I would slightly angle my head, and try to sleep on it like in a slightly different position. You can feel the stitches and the difference based on slight rotation of your head when you're laying down. Another slight thing I tried to do was like tighten my abs, my core, because that helped to alleviate some of the pressure on my head. I think you can't do that while you're sleeping, but when you are awake, when you're trying to go to sleep, just having a little less pressure by tightening your abs, it helped me at least temporarily. And then last night with the addition of this neck, I don't want to sound like a hickster. Then I put the towels on top of it. I put some space. So you just gotta move the stuff around, mess around with it, and try to get comfortable. But I would recommend the neck pillow for sure, because that's gonna be helpful. This only cost me like $3, but even if you don't use it, you want to have it at your disposal, because like waiting until the third day like I did to get it, not the best idea. You don't want to be messing around with this kind of stuff, slightly post-op. So I would get it. You can save it for later, but it's going to be helpful, trust me. Anyways, that's all I got for sleeping, post-op, which I said has been one of the more difficult things post-op. You guys got any questions? Definitely let me know. All right, thanks for watching. See you guys soon.